Welcome to the second YouTube Side Hustle podcast. I'm Matt. I've got the YouTube channel A Buck Life, where I build vans and go on adventures. But in this podcast, we are discussing how to go from 0 to 1,000 subscribers and our 3 best bits of advice to get you on your way.
I'm Rich. I've got the YouTube channel Brick Thinking. It's a Lego YouTube channel, around 34,000 subscribers. And I'm also just started building my wife's YouTube channel. What's that called? Flipbird. renovation channel called Flipbird. So yeah, as Matt said, here to share our journey as we go. We're not experts. We're learning from the experts, and we're sharing what we're learning as we go in the hope that you can pick up something to help you grow your channel.
Yeah.
So looking at last week, Maddie, how did you go? What were your wins? What were your losses? What are your plans for this week?
Wins were just really, I'm taking a small win this week in the fact that I just managed to get a video out, because I'm just running into the nature of my channel where I'm building vans and I work, so it's very much a part-time basis, in every spare minute, and with kids. Just getting that one video out last week, I am happy with that as a win, because I've got a few issues where I'm waiting on parts. You just like waiting on stuff, waiting on materials, waiting on parts to arrive, and really I'm trying to rush through not rush through the build, but get as much building done in this video, because I think the more transformative the video is, going from nothing built to something built, whatever that part might be, I feel like it's a better video. But yeah, so just getting that one video out is my win. And I suppose I've really mentioned it there. My loss is I'm just struggling with components, parts, and things not arriving, things arriving but them not fitting. It's a real minefield of it'd be interesting to know what your video kind of the background of your channel, because for me, it's not only do I have to make a video, I have to plan a build, I'm trying to think 3 or 4 weeks ahead to get the right components and parts here. Then it's a case of actually doing it, and then it's a case of trying to edit that video to a ever increasing standard, because you want to feel like the quality of your videos are progressing, and I feel like I've actually set the bar quite high for my videos at the moment. So it's just trying to repeat that, but then it's an odd one, because the better you get at editing doesn't mean that your editing takes any less time, because I think you bring more things into it. I don't know if you've noticed that, but that's what I've noticed, really.
Yeah.
And then target for this week, really, I do just feel like I'm going through very busy with work at the moment, so I feel like I'm just trying to keep my head above water. And I know, unlike you, I stick to a weekly upload. I am sensing that I'm probably going to have to say, sorry guys, no video this week. It's just not all come together, just to give me a little bit of breathing space, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But if you put out in your community post saying, your real work's ramping up and that your video is going to be fortnightly and until further notice, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
If you kind of want this to be, whilst it's something that we're both passionate about, if it starts to impact your stress on your job and your family and all the rest of it, then you begin to resent it, and then you're going to get snappy and all the rest of it. So yeah, I think it's important to manage the balance of both.
Yeah, I want to try and stick to the weekly upload, because I really do feel like people look forward to that video at the weekend. But yeah, at some point, the other tactic I suppose I could do is, I can shoot just like a talking, pretty much a one take
Yep.
video.
Yep.
I can pretty much shoot a one take video.
Well, we
Um,
mentioned Sean Kennel, Think Media, last week, but that's one thing he does talk about that. He said if you're struggling to get a video out, just live stream. But I mean, no, it doesn't necessarily mean to be a live. You can film it live if you want, and then it goes up, uploads as a live stream, or you just walk around with your Osmo on a stick and just go, hey guys, I'm still waiting on parts this week. It's been super busy at work. Here's a quick
yeah,
walk around the van. This is where I'm at.
yeah.
Yeah,
Weirdly, I did that for um, my first Patreon video.
yeah,
So I was saying I was going to set up a Patreon account.
yeah,
So I set that up as a way of kind of capturing emails.
hmm,
I've given away a costing sheet for free
yeah,
to capture emails, but then I also set up a couple of tiers for a membership,
yeah,
and I've had one person join my membership.
yeah,
So, and as part of that, I'm doing like once a month, like a behind the scenes video, and
yeah,
that was quite literally a one take video,
yeah,
um, just walk around of the vans,
yeah,
and then I've put in a segment like a tool focus segment, so like
yeah,
looking at some of the tools that I use,
yeah,
and I just need to upload it. I'm not editing it at all. I'm literally
yeah.
just one take, 10 minutes, uploaded, done.
Awesome.
What about you? Wins, losses, targets for next
Um,
week?
wins. This is highly unlike at my end of the thing with how often I post. But I got the K-pop video out last week, and it's trickling, which is to be expected because K-pop's the excitement's sort of been and gone. Although the companies are still releasing toys, the Lego sets coming out, we're working on K-pop too, all the rest of it. So there's still interest there, but it's a slower burn than I thought it might be. The thumbnails, I did an ABC test of the thumbnails, and I heavily borrowed a thumbnail style from another K-pop video that we went live probably a few months ago, and it did really, really well. And then my ABC test ended up picking the one that I thought was the least good.
Yeah.
So I did. So I go.
I was just going to say, do you know sometimes I rerun the same test
Yeah.
because I think sometimes if it pushes it out to your like core audience,
Yes.
it gets like a bit of a misled. Um, it might be that your core audience is going to watch that video no matter what, but when it starts to push it out wider, so if you do it and it picks one quite quickly, sometimes I hit rerun on it just to see if you get a different result.
Yeah. Interesting. Can you see the Riverside window here or not?
Yeah, yeah, I can still see Riverside, and I can
Okay. Cool. I'll
see
figure out where to move
your
on.
screen as well. We have a winner, A/B test report.
Yeah. So, this was it. Essentially,
It's fractional though, isn't it?
well, it
Oh,
is. It
oh
is.
no, I can't see. Oh yeah, 40.1. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that was my
Yeah, that's
least out of all those thumbnails. I thought that was the sort of just busiest, most amateur out of the three. This top one here is I'll show you the original video. I borrowed that off in a sec. So I'm like, yeah, cool. That's proven. It's just I choose a different character. This middle one, they're quite unique. Those builds, and then this one here has got a bit of everything. But I was really surprised that it came out sort of 10% ahead of the others. If I go to YouTube itself.
How many views has that video done then?
Oh, hang on one sec.
Wheel.
What? Oh, sorry. Gary's popping in to say hi. If I go here, come on, man. Where is it?
This is me being really not young cultured, but what is K-pop?
You didn't just say that.
I
And
just said
then,
it.
ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the YouTube Side Hustle podcast because my Colin has no sense of the world. So this is the one I borrowed from, this one here, and you can see the similarities. It's just a different character. 5.8 million views 4 months ago, but his video is good, his editing's good, everything. So sometimes you go, okay, well, I borrowed the thumbnail, why didn't mine perform? But then you also go, well, I borrowed the thumbnail, his video's way better than mine, so there'll be a reason. So 2,200, it's doing better than it was, but ranking by views,
Yeah.
it's 5 out of 10. It's slowly crawling up there, but
Yeah.
we'll see how we go. Where's it? Okay, trying to move these.
My
things
upload
around.
from last week is sitting at 7, mate. 7 out of 10.
Yeah, but this is a slow burn, so I'm happy with that. So there's the thing. Like it's got 44 subscribers, but then the arrow, you still see the screen. So that the graph is a slower burn, but it's trending upwards. So I'm not too stressed. Like it is what it is. The thing I was saying to you last week is because I don't do the weekly upload thing, and sometimes think videos take longer than they should. That one had been, I've been chipping away in the background for way longer than I would have liked over the Christmas, New Year, holidays, all the rest of it. So to finally get out, I thank God. And then you're like, well, to me, a couple of thousand views slowly increasing, it's not a complete waste of time. Like if it had got 500 and died on its ass, I'd be like, oh, what a waste of my time. So I'm not completely dismayed about that. So so that went out. So that was good. We did the last week's podcast, which was great. Turned out well. They like the editing features in this, as I said. The win for that was that I managed to retrieve the podcast that I deleted, thanks to Riverside. Cheers, guys. That was good, and so that'll be pretty much good to go. Later on today, or at least this weekend. So that's 2 in the bag now that we can put out, and I put one of Bry's out as well, which has. You'll probably be able to give me some insight on this. Actually, let me just go back to this, and I'll show you. So this easily drill into brick was my my super simple how-to video, aka Sean Cannon. It's got 39 views. The click-through rate's 1.8%. My question with this is I think that the topic's fine because there's people on there making these videos and they've made millions of views. It's got a subscribe, which is wicked. Have you noticed a difference in the performance of your videos where it's, hey, I'm tuning in to see Matt and what he's done with his van this week versus a specific how-to, so the search versus browse type content? So this is very much a search, how to drill into a wall is very much search-based content. So have you noticed they're a slower burn than browse?
Yeah, definitely slower burn. But then actually, when you look back, like when I go back to videos I made last year, and at the time they'd done like 1,000 or 2,000 views in the first week, which is when you're really looking at it. Because after that, for me, I'm releasing another video, and then my focus is. But then like I look back and I go, oh, that video is actually done like 10,000 views now. That's actually chipped along. One thing I need to do, especially because I've been really going for the initial click on this new van build series, one thing I need to do is now go back through this new van build series and probably start optimizing those titles for like search, for evergreen content as opposed to just the initial burst, I guess.
Yeah. There's thumbnails and titles I need to go back through for sure, and it's just hours in the day, isn't it?
Yeah. In fact, I think on vidIQ, if you pay for vidIQ, which I do, but very rarely use it, that when you go, I never use the vidIQ website. I just use the plugin on YouTube.
Yes.
But when you go to the actual vidIQ account, that actually pulls up videos of mine and says, do you want to optimize this for evergreen content?
Yeah, right.
And then it's suggested a new title.
Yeah, cool. Oh, well, that'd be worth looking at. Let us know. Be good to talk about on here as well. Because I did the
Yeah.
same thing. I think in the early days I might have popped the plug-in in. Same with ViewStats. Same with TubeBuddy, but never really delved into any of them in any because it was just another layer of sort of stuff that I've got to do.
Yeah.
There's the Blueprint community, the Unspeakable thing that I'm in. They do a creative platform where you can manage all your content and sort of plan it out, and it's really good for teams. But for me by myself, I'm just like, this is just an extra layer of stuff
Yeah.
that I'm doing, an extra layer of friction. So I've not sort of gone with that yet. But yeah, some other stuff I think would be pretty good.
I've got a video idea for your wife's account.
I need you to Google what K-pop is first.
I'm not
kidding.
Googling
Go on.
Is it pop music from a certain country?
Korea.
Yeah,
But
that's it.
do you have Netflix?
Yes.
Do you like animated movies or not?
I used to like anime. Like, do you remember Ghost in a Shell 20 years ago?
I don't, but it is
Proper
along the lines
anime.
of anime manga type thing. It's
Yeah.
It's when I first saw it at the top of Netflix, and this is completely sidetracking from what we're talking about. I looked at it, I'm like, why on earth would I watch a movie about demon hunters that are girls that are pop stars? That sounds terrible. And then for whatever reason, a few people at the kids' school, I think, started talking about it. I'm like, okay, we'll give it a go. And I watched it. I'm like, wow, I like pop culture. I like animated movies. I like all this sort of stuff. So I was hooked within the first couple of minutes. And because I like filmmaking and animation, and I like, music, and so it ticked a lot of boxes for me. But I'm like, wow, this is really, really good. And you see why it's so popular. It's like literally, if you imagine Frozen, but with kick-ass demon hunting pop idol girls versus this boy band that are demons, it's really clever, really, really clever. Whether you would watch it without your kids or not, I don't know. But I can't believe you've managed to skate through this long without knowing what it is. That's really impressive.
Yeah, I'm going to do my very best to avoid that as well.
Really
I've got a quick an additional side note.
Yes,
video idea for your missus's channel would be kind of introducing. Have you done one where you like introduce it as a project, like transforming this house from this to this?
She did a we've got the keys kind of thing, and a tour of the house.
Do a bit of research on like transforming. Call it something like, transforming this 1970s suburban house into something. And I think that as a titles, they always seem to do really well.
Yeah.
People like click on them because they think either you're introducing it to them to the project, or that they might see the full transformation.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was originally just called intro to the channel kind of thing. So yeah, well, I'll consider.
And just doing a tour, going through what we're going to be doing here, what we're going to be doing here.
Yeah, so she did the walk around. I followed her around. She did the walk around, but I think at the time we didn't really know what we were going to do with it. So yeah, no, it's good. It's a good way to spin it. I love my losses to last week, just so it falls in line with this YouTube side hustle mayhem that we've got going on. But the kids had gastro for a second time. So we thought it may be food poisoning. This was the night before I came to work. One of them, the 2-year-old, sort of came. We stayed up to later than we should, so it was like gone midnight by the time we came to bed, and which is ridiculous when I'm going to work the next day. But at about 12:30, something, 1 o'clock, the 2-year-old comes into my bed. Then about half an hour to an hour later, he's spewing. So my wife gets him up, runs into the bathroom, makes it. Great, not a problem. Back into our bed. About an hour after that, the 4-year-old starts spewing. So he's in the... No, sorry. Yeah, so he starts spewing. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Actually, I'd gone to the spare room by then because I'm like, I've got to get up for work. I need to get some sleep. But then the second one starts spewing. She's like, I need a hand. I'm like, well, of course you do. Helped out with that. Got back in... No, the 2-year-old... then spewed again, but we didn't get to it in time, so that was then on the sheets. So then we're in the middle of the night changing the sheets on the bed, and they're just tag teamed for the whole night, like an hour apart. That was prior to coming to work. And then I've been at work. This is my 3rd day at work, and I got a message off my wife this morning to say that the 6-year-old's now spewing as well. So we weren't sure whether it was food poisoning. I'm like, sure, it's not gastro again, like a week later. apparently you get different strains of it. So
Yeah.
joys of work, family, and YouTube. That would be my loss for the week. Although probably it's minor win, I suppose, because I came to work and my
Yeah.
wife at
Yeah.
home with kids. So it's
Yeah.
not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, just juggling this mayhem that is. Yeah, that's wins and losses. Just sort of, I think the losses is always going to be, if I haven't deleted any videos by mistake, it's probably all going to be family, like kid related. Like,
Yeah.
the losses are mainly lessons in the YouTube space. So,
Yeah.
this week's topic, what are you gonna enlighten the world with, Matty?
This week's topic. We wanted to give back and just give helpful advice, really, for anybody thinking of starting a YouTube channel in 2026, or anybody that started a YouTube channel and, I don't know, is trying to bumble their way through. And I guess a few things that we've picked up on, or I've picked up on, and maybe perhaps I wish I'd known a little bit sooner in my YouTube journey. So we're going to get, 3 things that you should definitely be doing if you want to build a YouTube channel. The first is, let me just refer to my notepad. The first, I don't know whether I should start with the most important, because we were talking about that. I'll start with the third. I'll go backwards order. So we'll save best till last. So the first the first is consistency. And I don't think consistency needs to mean uploading a video every week. I think that has been trends in the past, but it certainly doesn't need to be what you do now. And a good example of that is you consistently work on your videos, but you upload when they're finished. And you've had some real successes with your long form videos. You know, like 100,000 views on one of them.
The biggest is 400. The next is a couple of hundred.
And how many actual long form videos have you uploaded?
Less than a dozen.
Less than. See, that's crazy. So less than a dozen.
I'll tell you the exact amount. You keep talking, I'll look for the exact amount.
Well, less than a dozen videos, less than 12 long form videos, and you've hit a couple 100,000 views, which just, you know, whereas for me, that my consistency is trying to upload a video on a weekly basis. So being consistent, building up that viewership, building, I guess, with a weekly upload, I feel like I'm building a community.
That's the big difference. I was just going to say that. That's the, if you're going to take the Netflix model, so whether you're tuning in to watch Stranger Things or any of these popular shows, you look forward, or if it's my wife, probably the Bachelor or Farmer Wants a Wife or any of those things, they look forward to, the audience looks forward to, hey, you're releasing a show on this night. So yeah, 100%. So I think when you say consistency, like you said, it's not important, and it's important and it's not important. So in terms of how people spin it, so whilst you can have it, and there's because the YouTube algorithm now is designed as what do they call it, interest media as opposed to social media. It's the algorithms will push your content even as a brand spanking new content creator. If you're good at making videos and you've got a good idea and it's packaged well, you'll bang 1 million views straight out the gate. And I've seen some recent, really, really good, just 1 or 2 videos straight out of 1 million because they're amazing. So it'll get shared. Whereas back in the day, a decade ago, you would need your subscribers, you would need your people following and tuning in. It wouldn't get pushed to people that weren't subscribing, not in the same sense. So in that sense, you don't need to be uploading every week. You can just put up bangers whenever you feel like it, and they'll still perform if they are bangers.
Yeah.
But then, you're not building the connection you're talking about. And then also, you're not getting the reps. So if you're brand new, you need the reps because you need the feedback. You're probably not going to put a banger out.
You do need the reps. Yeah.
So there's really nuances. Like there's not, you can't just say you don't need to publish every week. You do need to publish every week. I think there's just pros and cons and merits to everything. The thing what you said, the consistency definitely is you need to always be working on your channel. If you're like me, the paralysis by analysis type mentality, like you just want everything to be perfect before you upload. And a lot of people are like, well, I'm going to feel like a tit if I just put this out as it's crap. Well, put it out and just figure out what works, look at the graphs, and then just keep putting out slop until it gets better. And that was kind of pushed into that by a dude who I met in, I forget, one of the communities online, and sort of we got chatting, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna start a channel. We'll just work on these long form videos. And he's like, just put something out. I'm like, I don't really know what to put out. So I just put out some shorts, and that was the start of me putting out shorts, and went from there. But at least I was making something because my issue was time, and then sort of evolved from there. I think, yeah, if you haven't got time to make long form, make short form, but at least just film something and upload something, even if your editing's terrible. So
yeah, film, edit, upload,
see how you go.
and also. You know, a lot of I think there is a trend for as much as big polished videos do well, there is also a trend kind of coming through where people just want authentic videos.
Yes. And that's probably going to increase as AI increases. People are going to want authentic videos.
Definitely. And I already see it all the time in, you know, like in some of the Facebook groups I'm in to do with my interests, not to do with YouTube, but you know, you see pictures and memes and stuff, and there's a blurb with it, and it's like people are like, oh, another AI, another picture of something that didn't happen. And it's just obvious that people can just detect when stuff's not real. So actually you could do well on YouTube just by putting out authentic, helpful videos.
Yeah.
But number one point, consistency. Whether it's weekly, monthly, you always have said that you are trying to be consistent to one a month or
I would like to do. It would be great to put them out weekly. I don't know how I'd physically do that with the type of content I'm making, but maybe Bry's stuff lends itself more towards that, like I said last week, because it's the vlog style Renault content. But the biggest Lego YouTuber in the space puts out videos when he's finished them. He consistently gets 20, 30, 40 million views per video. And he puts them out. But he was got the first mover advantage. He's been around for a long time. He's got a big audience. So, you know, there's a lot going in his favor there. He's nearly at 10 million subscribers. So there's a reason why he's getting those big numbers. But they're still good. They're good videos. But yeah, they come out when they come out. So yeah, it's the challenge for me. The challenge for me personally with my own weakness is, you know, the whole Elon Musk thing. If something's going to take 10 years, we'll try and do it in 6 months. And it'll probably be not very polished result in 6 months, but you'd be miles further ahead than you would be if you just did it over the 10 years. So me with the videos, it's like, if I don't set some arbitrary deadline, I could just let it drift and take, you know, 2 months when it could have been 2 weeks. Yeah. Because you just go, I could just add this, or I could just change that, or I've got some stuff on with family, I've got some stuff on with work, I'll get back to that on Thursday, I'll get back to that on Monday. Whereas if you've got this pretend deadline, kind of forces you to push it out. So that's more of a thing for me, is I kind of need to tighten up that in that sense. And I've had a crack before, but at the same time, I don't want to, like you talked about before, I don't want it to put pressure on, you know, the fact that I've got, you know, family and work and stuff as well. I don't want it to make me feel stressed. I'm not doing this to stress myself out. I can purposely chose YouTube and content creation because it's fun. And once it involves work, it doesn't feel stressful. So it's a bit of a roller coaster. It can be frustrating, but it doesn't feel stressful. So I don't want to add stress by saying I have to have something done by Sunday and I've got nothing done. But then also, you know, going on that shoot a live stream thing, I'll just shoot something random. I'm like, that's probably more doable with your type of content than is mine. If I just, I don't know, here's my table of Lego that I've started to build. I think
No, it's true.
Shorts and and community posts, I think, are good. So, like, if I'm struggling to get something finished, I might just put a community post up, like a poll or something like that, just so
Yeah,
consistency, just get something. I think you talked about that before. There's quite good engagement with polls and
yeah,
quizzes and
polls
whatnot
do well.
on the community.
Yeah. I feel like I am guilty of making this stressful,
Mm.
but I think that's my personality. Like I quite I like I make things like I'm quite an anxious person, so I make things stressful. Like
Right.
I make it so there's a deadline and that I've got to get to it, and
Seems like a fun
you know
way
what
to
I
exist.
mean? And yeah, yeah, no, it's true though. But then I don't know. I was chatting to one of my friends the other day, and I said, what I've worked out as I've very quickly approached 40 is that actually what makes me happy, and I'm not sure this makes everybody happy, but I think a lot of men could relate,
Mm.
is just feeling useful and
Yeah,
purposeful.
100%.
And that's one of the reasons why I started doing my YouTube, was because I was sat at home in the evenings, and it's like I don't want to watch a program, and
Yeah,
it's like dead time, that to me. I
yeah,
want to,
100%.
even if you do half an hour on the YouTube,
Mm.
it's half an hour of progress towards something
It's
that
yeah,
could
it's
potentially
hardwired.
be a career.
It
Mm,
is hardwired. If you're creative, you got a slightly entrepreneurial spirit, and there are people who do just like watching Netflix and eating Doritos. But yeah, I'm the same. Bryce, like, she's really driven from the fitness point of view. She'll get up and do CrossFit 6 days a week. I have a love-hate relationship with exercise, and I admire her doing that. And she's like, but I admire you going to work, and when you're in your hotel working on more work, like, as opposed to
yeah,
just chilling out. But yeah, the
yeah,
evenings, I enjoy watching movies, and I enjoy some of the TV series, but I almost feel guilty. And it's not, it's a self-imposed guilt, but I'm like, I could be using this time to be so much more productive. So,
yeah,
if Bry's
yeah,
Renovate, you're doing something that doesn't involve us two hanging out, I'll be editing videos or just doing stuff on the channel.
yeah,
And I think but because it's fun as well, like, I think I chose this path intentionally. Like, there's guys at work who, when they're not flying, they'll be mortgage brokers, or they'll be pool fence inspectors or whatever it is. I didn't want to do something boring. So, like, if I got to an evening and then I'm like, oh gosh, I've got to do people's taxes, or I've got to help these clients with their finance, that would be soul destroying. I
yeah.
wouldn't
That's
work
not
many
fun.
years. So
That's not fun.
I was very intentional about picking something that was in an area that I was passionate about. And the trade-off is it probably takes longer to monetize than it would be if you just went through freelance website designing, or whatever it is you chose to do. I could probably make money quicker that way, but I wanted complete autonomy. I wanted to be my own boss, and I wanted it to feel like fun, not work. So I'm like, cool, well, that's a longer path to getting the cash, but it's at least I'm going to resent it when the evenings roll around. So yeah, it's very much
Mate,
a male thing, is just wanting to, I think provide and feel useful and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I totally agree.
which is a beautiful segue
You're welcome.
into my second point, which is you need to pick a topic that you are genuinely enthusiastic about
Amen.
and you enjoy doing it, because ultimately you're going to have to make videos about this topic potentially for a long time. So
Mm.
if you are not enthusiastic about it, if you're not enjoying doing it, then your audience are going to see that. The
Yeah.
the bullshit detector from an audience is great. So they'll be able
Yeah.
to see if you are not vibing what you're doing, or you're not
Yeah.
enjoying it. I mean,
Yeah.
I would say with with van building, what I realized with like niching down a little bit into my van building, a lot of people build a van and then they create a channel around using their van. Whereas I think where I've niched down is I've built a van. We've done some really cool trips, but the reality is we can't travel full time
Mm.
at the moment. I don't think I would enjoy traveling full time at the moment with the two young kids. It's actually quite like traveling full time in a van basically makes life harder than being at home with little kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
100%.
and also it's a cost thing, and it's actually a stability thing. I think our kids
Yeah.
They like it, you know, they like going to nursery. They like going to those things. So if you were nomadic, it wouldn't suit necessarily. But then for me, niching, realizing that actually some of my travel vlogs have done really poor numbers, you know, looking back at your catalog for the last year, and I can see which videos are spiking, and then my build videos are spiking, and then obviously some of my time lapse videos have done 500,000 views. You think that's where I'm heading. And also, the thing is I'm a construction teacher by trade. I'm a DT teacher. I like making stuff. I enjoy making the van, and I think it's flipped because most people that build a van probably don't enjoy the van building bit. They enjoy the traveling bit. Whereas for me, I enjoy this building bit, and that's where, you know, I've kind of niched into building vans. And
what's the DT stand for?
Design and technology.
Yeah, cool. I didn't know that. I think I mean I knew you're a teacher. I don't think I've ever asked what you taught. But I used to really enjoy that at school. I used to have been back when I was at school. You know, I was born in '77, so we were in the early days of etching our own circuit boards and soldering on the.
We still do that. We still do that.
Lathes, stuff, and I used to really, and it was really for a young boy, it's a really refreshing break from the boredom of just the classroom and the pen and paper. So that was awesome. Yeah. But I didn't know that because I'm like watching you do these videos. I'm like, how on earth has he got not just the skill but the balls to just start cutting into a van and doing his own thing? I'm like, I just was so nervous. So yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, my experience with the van, a lot of people this is a really common question I get asked, like where's your experience? You know, are you a joiner? Are you a tradesman? Are you like, this is what people think I am. But, you know, I teach kids design and technology. I'm trained as a DT teacher. So I'm trained on, I guess, more carpentry than joinery. I'm trained on like metalwork, lathes, stuff like that, and a bit of graphic design and a bit of CAD. But then through the years, you teach stuff, don't you? You get asked to teach other things. So origin story, what started me making videos, and if you go back to my first videos, which are mountain biking ones, was I started teaching media studies, where we were editing videos with teaching kids how to edit. And I'd never edited a video, but my friend who was the head of media asked me to teach, would I want to teach it? And I said, yeah, I'd love to teach. I'd love to learn how to do that. So that's when I started using Sony Vegas, started learning basic editing skills. And then I suppose on top of that, my other experience is I've done loads of houses up. I've just done loads of our houses up as we've bought and sold houses that we've lived in.
It's not besides the specific skills. It's that problem solving, logical thought process about okay, well, I need to do this, as opposed to what technical skill do I need? It's like, how am I going to approach it and how I'm going to plan it and what sort of stuff do I need? That sort of stuff. So that's awesome.
But I've learned so much from watching YouTube videos. Like when we renovated buildings, it's like, right, I'm going to build these stud walls now. And right, I'll watch it. Right, that's how you do it. Order some wood. Off you go. And just have a go, have a crack. And I say that to people. It's just like, I don't know how to do it. I didn't know how to wire up my electrical system for the van until I did it.
Yeah, that wouldn't even attempt that. That's funny. I'm okay with software, hardware, nah, just not mine. And that's you know, I'm playing with little bits of plastic. So, what's with your vans? Are you planning on selling them with each time you do them? Like, how many are you going to collect before you auction them off?
Sorry. Well, the plan is, we're going to. I'm looking at buying another vehicle at the moment. So the next project, I'm kind of teeing that up, which is probably going to be like a 4x4 overlander type build. And then I think I'm going to run the stealth van, which is the current build, until the end of this year probably, and then sell it to fund the next one.
I think we might have touched on this, but your audience now is actually in 20,000. but I mean, an auction, like it's, you could,
Yeah, maybe
just
I might do.
as a bit
I've
of
been asked.
interest based. That would be an interesting video to watch, I think.
Mm,
Be good. And we also talked before about you 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 don't have to keep buying camper vans. You can convert boats, like you ice cream
yeah,
vans,
yeah, yeah,
or you
yeah,
can
yeah,
and it can become like a Maddie converts or a Maddie builds or whatever. Like so, you
yeah.
can you're not I think you'd be at a point. There'll be certain people that'll be tuning in to go, yeah, I want to learn how to convert a camper van, and there'll be other people just going, this is fun watching this crazy English dude do some stuff.
Convert. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably the route I'll go because there's only so much you can, for my own sanity,
Mm.
you can only convert so many vans. I'm not saying I won't do vans in the
Yeah.
future, but yeah, it'd be fun picking different random
Canal barge.
projects of converting things into tiny spaces to live.
Mm.
Yeah. So, that's the point, I guess, being enthusiastic about it, so the audience enjoys watching you.
Yes.
One thing I would say though is you don't always have to be enthusiastic, and actually coming back to my point about being authentic is I show my cock-ups, always
Mm.
show my cock-ups, and the amount of comments I get on videos which are like, oh, you show your cock-ups, that's so refreshing. It's
Mm.
not some Instagram magic
Yeah.
van build. And
Yeah.
people, and I get stressed and I get annoyed, and I get
Mm.
annoyed on camera because I'm
Yeah.
annoyed, like I've
Yeah.
cocked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
But
It's good.
they see that, and then they see you trying to solve that problem and come through it, and
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
the passion
So
providing you don't completely hate your content, you're passionate, because I am as passionate, if not more, about YouTube, about being an entrepreneur,
yeah,
about running a small business, about
yeah,
designing thumbnails, about coming up with catchy titles, about like the whole.
yeah,
It ticks so many boxes for me
yeah,
in terms of creativity and passion. Like I think if what I
yeah,
was filming was boring as, then it would be making it a little bit different. But yeah, the Lego's nerdy. The only thing I would say in terms of so if I was just doing Bryce Renault content, like it's a bit drier, but it would streamline it. It wouldn't interest me as much, but I'd still enjoy the content creation side of things. It would speed it up because I'd be less concerned about what I was going to say and what I was going to do because I'm just filming Brian and uploading it. So time will tell how that goes. The thing that's worth noting, and again, I'll quote Sean Cannell here, is picking your vehicle before you start. Depending on what your goals are, if you are just a nerd and you want to play with Lego and film it, great. It's got a huge total addressable market is massive. People will tune in for the Lego before they'll tune in for you. So you've got this sort of the initial click. And I'm using Lego as an example because that's what I use. But you need to consider that it's kids with no money. So you're relying on ad revenue for the most part. Like there are adult
yeah,
fans of Lego, and there are
yeah,
a lot of people like me who do have money to spend, but mostly it's entertainment content for kids. So your CPM is going to be a lot lower. So if you want high CPM, you're doing real estate, you're doing finance, you're doing videos to people who have cash who are ready to spend, so that companies who've got stuff to sell can advertise on your videos. If you're doing Lego content, well, people aren't going to be advertising term deposits on a Lego ad. So the return, it's just completely different. So I think picking something you're passionate about is important, but also considering, and you said you don't want to be a busy fool. That's a great quote. Like I don't feel like I'm a busy fool. I feel like I'm building something that's going to get there eventually.
yeah,
But if I was still ticking over with a few hundred views per video, and with no evidence of any kind of growth, I'd be like, okay, I need to switch gears and pick something else. So
yeah,
it's you've got to be passionate about what you do. You're very good on camera. You've got a very good presence. You talk very clearly. You've got a lot of emotion and whatever they call that in the way you talk. I'm monotone as all hell. So I have to be really careful. If I'm building something and just mumbling along as I build, it's the most boring video on earth. So that's part of the reason why I need to script. And I need to speak a bit quicker. So it's
I have to speak quicker. Trust me. You want to see my raw footage? It's me saying something 3 times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'll say some, not all the time, but sometimes there'll be 3 takes, and then
Yeah.
I'll clip them, clip
Yeah.
them together.
So the passion isn't. I think some of that I've got to be conscious of that in terms of how I talk. But I think you can tell by the words people use and how excited they get about stuff as to whether they're passionate. So yeah, I think if you weren't, that would shine through. So yeah, a few things there inside of the be passionate about what you do. But 100%, if you sit down in an evening to edit or whatever time of the day you get to do your side hustle, if you
Yeah.
don't enjoy it, you're not going to want to do it.
I would agree with you on that as well, and I think actually I should have said there that being passionate about your subject, because that helps to come across on camera, but being passionate about making videos, because I would say I probably spend equal amount of time filming as I
Yes.
do editing,
Yeah.
and you have to enjoy turning that raw footage into some kind of narrative or story, or so yeah, think about, like, I think I've made over 250 videos on my channel. Not some of those are shorts, easy shorts as well, not like your shorts where you actually make them, but where I just used Opus Clip to like clip my long form videos up. I haven't really made any good shorts. I don't know how many long form videos I've made now. Maybe like 100. I bet I've made over 100 long form videos. But yeah, it's still a lot of editing and trust the process, because like, to start with, not a lot happens. So you gotta kind of be doing it for yourself, really. You know how we've said, doing it in the evenings. I enjoy sitting down and doing it, and then whether it, to start with, whether it got any views or not, it was more about actually just the process of making the video, filming it and making it.
Yeah.
Right. Point 3 is, and this is, I feel like you're better at this and actually do this much better than I do it, because I don't probably spend as much time planning videos. I plan big projects. You plan videos, but which is starting with your title and your thumbnail idea and your concept. Title, thumbnail, concept, and actually planning that before filming, which is, I am a hypocrite here, because I do this sometimes, and when I do it, if I probably look at my YouTube channel, they are the videos, the outlier videos that have done really well. But because of my nature of, like, I'm building a van, it kind of leads me through. It gives me the video topics, if that makes sense. But for you really plan your video. You come up with your title and thumbnail and your concept before you even press record.
Yeah, without doubt. And the packaging being the idea, the title and thumbnail. So yeah, I'm trying to think which one would be the most important. I think they have equal weight, because you can have a banger title and thumbnail and a crap idea and no one's going to click. We can have a great idea with a terrible thumbnail, terrible title, and no one's going to click. Like, the title and thumbnail tied quite closely together. I think for me, I'm visual. YouTube's a visual platform. I think I'm always probably going to be drawn into the thumbnail first and then read the title. But yeah, it's those three.
As Colin and Samir would say, YouTube is a click and select platform.
Click and stick, yeah.
So the punter, the viewer, is clicking what they want to watch, unlike Instagram and TikTok, where you're being fed content. Like, obviously it's feeding you onto your homepage.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you still have to click on that video to watch it.
Yeah. And I think that's what we were talking about briefly prior to starting this recording, but I think if your ideas are bad, no one's going to click and watch. And that's probably the biggest thing. Thumbnails and titles, it's pretty bit easier with thumbnails these days because of AI. So you've got no excuse really for putting out a bad thumbnail. And I see it in the communities on Facebook, the sort of content creator communities, where people are like, this is my thumbnail, either what do you think, or this is my thumbnail, can you help me? Whereas if I design a thumbnail like people are asking for help with, I would bang it into ChatGPT and say, this is what I want, and then get it to spit something out. And it's amazing how many people are not using AI to help them with their graphic design. You don't need to be a graphic designer anymore. And you can even put your own faces in. There's no excuse for a bad thumbnail these days. I suppose there might be, it depends how you define bad. I'm defining bad in the sense of it's not pretty to look at. It could be bad in the sense that it's not a balanced thumbnail, or the contents of the thumbnail don't match the video, or it could be bad in any number of ways. But visually, it shouldn't be bad anymore. Like, it's not like you in Microsoft Paint slapping a picture in and putting some terrible Comic Sans font on there. So there's no reason for it to look bad. I think one of the biggest things that people overlook when they first start making videos is, if you weren't you, would you watch your video? People think, well, I've gone through all this effort. Like, I've filmed this thing of me doing this, and you're like, but it's boring. Like, or you sound boring. Your topic's boring. Your lighting's bad. Whatever it is, you got dirty dishes in the sink, and you're filming it. Whatever. Like, all these little things. I think if you wouldn't watch the video yourself, and I'm not saying you need to go to studio production with every video you make, but I think the idea for your video has to be decent, and if you wouldn't click on it, then don't make it. And you definitely want to. There's a fine line here between let's just make some content and get used to uploading videos and get used to editing and get used to
true.
making content, but try your best to come up with the best ideas possible, and find people to bounce ideas off. Find people who are building YouTube channels as well. Run things past them and go, what do you think of this idea? What do you think of this idea? And people in your niche as well, not your wife, your husband, your kids, your mum, your dad, like people who are interested in your topic. Would you watch this? So that's probably a real big one when you first start. People are like, why aren't I getting views? Well, because your video is terrible, because your idea for your video is terrible. And I'm not saying this from I'm an expert, your stuff's crap. Like, this is me too. Like, if I look back at my early videos, I'm like, I wouldn't watch that. Or like, it's just really bland. Like, it's just why would I just watch somebody just do that? Like, so don't. My early videos are very, very much like that. I'm very guilty of doing things that my audience would not be interested in watching. So that's huge.
And also, sometimes you do a video that you do think is a good idea, and it doesn't.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
Doesn't perform very well. But
and that happens even at the highest level. Like, big creators go, cool, people are interested in this, they're interested in this, we'll make a video, and it bombs. So you can't always get it right, but in the early days, you can certainly lean more towards, And the other thing as well is is why you're making the videos. Like, some people, if you just enjoy woodwork and you want to film what you're doing and you want to build whatever projects you want to build, and you don't care about the views or the money, we'll just film whatever you want to film. But if you want to be a YouTuber, there's a big distinction between filming videos and putting them online and being a YouTuber. So it's a huge distinction. And if you want to be a YouTuber, you need to get serious. You need to get, you need to be reading the books. You need to be listening to podcasts. You need to be in the communities. You need to be doing the courses. You need to be studying other YouTubers. You need to be watching what they do, watching how they package their videos. And to the best extent, you're not going to go make a Mr. Beast video, but you're certainly going to start making videos that are YouTubified. They're not, so it depends, but it depends what kind of YouTuber you want to be. So, you talked about before about the raw footage, or the sort of more authentic style content. Like, Sam Sulek was one that was talked about quite recently with the bodybuilder. He'd just walk around just with his phone, vlogging himself going to the gym. And the guy was a unit. So, of course, people are going to tune in and go, well, what's going on? And he blew up to millions of followers in a very short space of time. But whilst he isn't polishing his videos, he's got something there that people want to click for. So, people are not going to click to look at this. So I've got to come up with something more interesting.
Yeah. And do you know what? That's what I feel like I realized with my channel, that actually they're there to watch a van be converted or a
Mm.
project be converted, not watch me, if that makes sense.
In 10
And
years, they might.
and I can't say again.
In 10 years, they might click to watch you. But in the first 6
Yeah,
months,
they might click to watch. Some people might, some people might click to watch me, but I think
like it.
as a
You're
way
deal.
of your your thought, no, like flipping your thought process. So it's like they are the star of the video is the van,
Yeah.
not me. Does that
Yes.
make sense?
Yes.
And that's how I've trying to think about that now.
Yeah.
And put that at the forefront, which I've never tried to be the star, if that makes sense.
Mm.
And I think, but at first I wasn't sure what was the star, whereas now I feel like the vehicle and the project is the star.
Yeah.
So
No, it's good, man.
yeah,
Very good.
I feel like bonus tip on that note, I guess, is your first
3.1.
30 seconds is 3.1 would be to nail your intro, your first 10 seconds, your first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Being engaging,
Yes.
confirming. I feel like I'm quoting Colin and Samir, which are two, if you're looking for, I feel like Colin and Samir make a lot of high end, like their content is aimed at people with 50,000 subscribers, creators with more subscribers, really. But they're, the first 10 seconds they say confirming the click.
Yeah. 100%.
So that first 10 seconds, the viewer knows that the thumbnail and title is legit. If it's, for me, my van build, in those first 10 seconds, I'm telling you that I'm converting a van. I'm making a stealth van, and this is what I'm doing today, probably. So yeah,
I completely agree, and that's another thing. There's a big thing for me being a little bit slower than your average person. It's one thing to know this stuff in theory, and it's another thing to actually put it into practice. Or for me, at least, I'm like, right from the start, I'd read about, you need your hooks, you need your thumbnail styles, all these different ingredients. Yet my first decent chunk of videos, my hooks are terrible. It's even now, I'm still having to consciously think, okay, this is the first part of the video, what I'm going to say, how I'm going to get people to stick around for the rest of the video. But I wasn't doing that back then. I knew I needed a hook of sorts. It's just, it's a work in progress for sure.
I still feel like I'm by no means good at that. I still feel like it's something that I work on, and I try to film a lot of my intros in person, but then obviously in editing I can grab my microphone and quite often part of my intro will be me on film and part of it will be a voiceover, because I feel like I've not quite got a good, you know what I mean, like what I filmed in person didn't quite hit the mark.
No, it's good.
And also it's difficult with my builds because sometimes, there is I'd say 50% of mine or more maybe is vlog style. So what I might set out to do at the start of the video doesn't always transpire by the end of the video.
Yeah. So you need a new intro. You almost better film your intro at the end, but then your van would look different.
That's exactly the problem. So you kind of want to film it. You've got to film something at the start because it's before you've done the task.
Yeah. It's good, man. It's good.
So to recap, then, our three tips are being consistent, being passionate, and packaging, thumbnail, title, concept, intro.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Yes. And we've mentioned a couple of things here as far as resources. I want to try and each week just mention a book, a course, a piece of gear that we're using that has helped us or that we think is good. And we've mentioned a couple in here, so we'll just reiterate those. You mentioned Colin and Samir. Check them out. They've got podcasts. They've got a YouTube channel. They've got courses. They are excellent, and they're not they're not your snake oil salesmen. They're genuine, legit creators, have been in this space for a long time. Very
Yeah.
highly respected what
Yeah.
they do. And same deal with Sean Cannell, Video Ranking Academy. Think Media is their YouTube channel. They'll cover how to make content, but also the gear to use to make that content. They've got a podcast. Sean's written a book, YouTube Secrets, a whole bunch of stuff. And again, very good for what they're doing. So, yeah, highly recommend both of those as a place to start. Once we get a bit more organised with this, I'll get the website set up and we can have like a resources tab where people can click on the sort of stuff that we've used that we think is useful. Help through the noise a little bit. But
Nice.
Besides that, until next week.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you in the next YouTube Side Hustle podcast.
Catch you later.